Hi everyone, welcome to the Leeward Community College and UH Mnoa KAE Transfer Tuesday series. My name is Laurie Labarios and I'm one of the counselors at Leeward. And I'm just gonna quickly go around and introduce Amy McKee. She's a UH Mānoa transfer specialist, and Jordan Luton, who will come on board soon. We're so happy to have you here. I would like to also just, maybe you can switch the slide, Amy. That agenda for today is we're very honored to have Alyssa Kapaona from the College of Education to share about their college, and also Dr. Candice Fujikane from the English department. She's the director for the undergraduate English department. And so we're going to start with Alyssa, and there's always going to be an opportunity for you to do a Q&A or type your question in the chat, and we'll get to it towards the end. And about halfway through, we're going to switch over to Dr. Candice Fujikane. You're welcome to stay for both sessions if you want.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. On behalf of the University of Hawaiian Manoa, we just want to say welcome and share with you a little bit more information about UH Manoa. The UH Manoa was founded in 1907 and is considered a land, sea, space, and sun grant institution. We offer over 100 undergraduate majors for you to choose from, as well as graduate and professional programs, including law, medicine, business, social work, education, and engineering. We are an NCAA Division I school. We are highly ranked as a Research 1 institution, and we also strive to be a Native Hawaiian place of learning. To help you make that smooth transition to UH Manoa, we highly encourage you to consider joining the KAE Program. The KAE Program is a partnership between UH Manoa and the UH community colleges, and it provides students with proactive academic advising to help make sure that you are sailing towards Manoa very smoothly and efficiently. We also provide some benefits, including waiving the application fee to UH Manoa and providing students with early registration when they transfer to Manoa. And you can also have the opportunity to take a class at Manoa while you're still at the community college. To be eligible to join the program, students do need to have at least 24 transferable credits, either completed or in progress, a 2.0 GPA, and have at least one more semester remaining at the community college. If you would like to have more information about the KAE program, please let me know in the chat. I'll be happy to send more information your way. Perfect. And without further ado, we'll hand it over to our first presenter, Alyssa Kapaona.
Aloha everyone, my name is Alyssa Kapaona. Can I just get a thumbs up if folks can hear me? Okay, perfect. As Amy and Laurie mentioned, I'm an academic advisor at the College of Education at the University of Hawaiian Mānoa, and very excited to talk to you about some of our programs today. I hope everyone's safe and well. I know we are in pandemic times. Oh, and here is Exhibit A of that. I'm home with my little one who is doing distance learning. She's a DOE public school student. You can shaka to everybody. I told her I was doing a presentation and she was like, Mommy, is that like show and tell? I'm like, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm showing and telling about our programs. So she's kind of listening in, and hopefully I can get through this presentation pretty smoothly, but she's gonna eat her lunch right now.
That a T and that's an E, that's an A, that's an O, and I don't know what that one is.
Teach. Okay, can I do my show and tell? And you go eat, okay? Thank you. Okay, see, former teacher right there. So yes, we need teachers. Teachers are so important and there is a shortage. So I'm going to get into our programs in a second. I did just want to introduce myself a little bit further. My last name is Kapaona, but I am not Native Hawaiian. So I just like to say that up front. I was born here in Hawaii to a mixed race settler family. I was born a Watanabe, and so I just wanted to share that because we are working towards Native Hawaiian place of learning at University of Hawaii at Manoa, but also at the College of Education. And I also run a program called Pu'uhonua for our Native Hawaiian students to help them get access to different resources that can help them with their educational journey. But we're all, here to support all of our students who are interested in being teachers. So thank you for joining. Uh-oh, sorry. Okay, here we go. So this is our office. We have different advisors and administrative folks. We also have some graduate assistants that help with advising. And then if you wanted to schedule an appointment with us, the website is here. And I'll definitely share this PowerPoint after the presentation is done if you wanted to make an appointment easily.
I'm going to be done with my work.
Sure. Okay, sorry. We're doing two things at once. Always fun. So I just wanted to go over an overview of our College of Ed programs, our admissions info, and then we do have some programs that are geared towards students who maybe have distance learning in mind. And I know we're presenting to our LCC folks, so I just wanted to highlight some of these programs, ones that you can do online. We also have cohorts that are based out in YNI, or we also have an LCC cohort. So I'll go over that in a little more detail soon. So just wanted to go through the different areas that we serve. We have our most popular major probably is elementary education, and we have 6 specializations within elementary education. Elementary education, just a general focus. You'll get your Bachelor's of Education in elementary ed, but also a license to teach K through 6 elementary education in the DOE public school. You'll also we also have exceptional students, so that's our special education program. You'll have 2 licenses, K through 6 special education and K through 6 elementary ed. We also have a early childhood focused elementary ed major. Again, you'll get licensed K through 6 in elementary ed, but also a focus in early childhood, pre-K through 3rd grade. And then if you wanted to do special education with the little ones, then this degree is what students have been going for: early childhood and early childhood SPED, 2 licenses, pre-K through 3rd grade, 1 general and 1 special education. Multilingual learning is a newer major for us. And that's to address the need that we actually have more multilingual learners in the state than SPED students at this time. And it's just to help our future teachers know and understand this special population and how to best serve them. So we have the multilingual learning and the elementary ed major. And then one that's going to start in the fall that we're all really excited about is our elementary ed and Hawaiian language immersion. And that's a new program that's starting in the fall. We do have a master's in Hawaiian language immersion, but this one allows students to get it in their bachelor's degree. If you're interested in teaching the older students, that's grades 6 to 12, we have the secondary education degree, and there's various content majors. So elementary ed, you're actually teaching all the subjects, language arts, science, math, social studies. For secondary ed, you would focus in on a specific content major. You would specialize in a subject area, and then you would teach that subject area at grades 6 through 12. So we have a bachelor's degree that does that. We also have other programs that can license you to teach as well that I'll go over. And then I know we're not really focusing on these areas, but just wanted to highlight that we also house the Bachelor's of Science in Kinesiology and Rehab Science, and that grew out of our physical education major. And then we also have a minor in education as well. So maybe if you're thinking about majoring in English, but you wanted to minor in education, the minor in education would help get you your upper division credits needed for graduation. And then there's potential to get a substitute license with the minor in education. So lots of ways you can blend your interests. All right. So I don't want to overwhelm you too much with all of these programs. The main thing I would say I want you to take away from this session is that we are so excited to meet with you. We have strong partnerships with Leeward, and for you folks to make an appointment with us, with our office, with me, with other advisors, if you're interested and want to start talking about the transfer process. But we do have things past the bachelor's degree that can help certify students in teaching. and teacher licensure. So one is a post-baccalaureate certificate. So this means after the bachelor's degree. So let's say you get your, I'm just going to use English since they're here with us today. So you're going to get your bachelor's degree in English. And then you decide you might want to go into teaching. You can still do that. So you would get a post-baccalaureate certificate in secondary education. So I would license you to teach in the state of Hawaii. We also have master's programs, like I mentioned, one in each area that I said earlier. So elementary education, Hawaiian language immersion, secondary education. I'm so sorry. And then special education as well. So let's see, we'll go to our next slide. Again, I don't want to overwhelm you. We have a lot of programs at College of Ed, but it's all meant to address the specialized needs of our Hawaii Public DOE and for all of our keiki in the schools. I have this slide to just kind of show what it looks like when you're doing a bachelor's degree program in our college. The first couple years are pre-licensure track. And that's what some of you folks may be doing at Leeward right now. You'll be taking general ed courses, and then you'll also be taking licensure track admissions requirement courses. Now, if you folks are doing the AST or Associate of Science in Teaching with Leeward, we do have an agreement to have courses that you're taking at Leeward transfer over to some of our upper division education courses at UH Mānoa. So I know those of you in the program are probably pretty aware of that agreement, but if you're interested in it and want to talk further about it, you can always contact us to discuss. And then the last 2 years of the program, so in a typical, 4-year plan, if you do your first 2 years at Leeward, then you come for your last 2 years at Manoa if you're doing elementary ed, and it's you apply to UH Mānoa and you also apply to the elementary ed program. And the reason we have special admissions for these licensure track part of the programs, the part of the programs where you're actively pursuing your teacher's license, is because you'll be in the schools already. You'll be observing, you'll be eventually student teaching. And so we have to make sure we're sending our best and brightest teacher candidates to do that work. And also these students have to get background check and things like that. So it's just a way for us to protect the keiki in the school, but also set you up for success. And then if you're doing secondary ed, it's a little bit shorter for that licensure track part, where it's about 1.5 years for students pursuing secondary education. And again, that's grades 6 through 12. All right. We do have a cohort model for our programs, and that's very purposeful. It's to make sure that you're on a set track. So it's kind of like you just come in, you get on your track, and then you progress throughout the degree. You also are put in a group that gets to support each other like a little ohana, a little family unit, and it's proven to have higher retention and graduation rates. We are field-based programs. So as I mentioned, you'd be in the classroom right away in that licensure track part of the program. You'll be paired with a teacher mentor. You'll be experiencing what it's like to be in the classroom. You start with 2 days a week in your earlier part of the program, but then towards the end, you're going to do a full semester of student teaching where you're in the classroom 5 days a week, and students really see you as their primary teacher in that sense, especially towards the end. So it's a really good training, because in a few short months, you'll be in the classroom as a real certified licensed teacher. So that's what I love about our program, that we have this real life experience part to it, that field-based training. Okay, so here's some general admissions info. Before I get into that, I just wanted to check the time real quick. I wanted to make sure we honor the time that I'm supposed to share. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We have a little problem with an LOL doll. Oh my goodness.
Gonna take forever.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's real. Teacher training in action. Okay, sorry. Thank you all for your understanding. But I figure I'm presenting to teachers, and I'm so grateful for all our students because they totally get it when I get interrupted by the little ones. It happens. So thank you. As I mentioned, for our programs, it's special admissions major. And so you will have to apply to our College of Ed major through this site called Makale. And this is just some screenshots that shows you what it looks like. You'll be using your UH username and password to apply. If you do auto admit, you could do auto admit to do your UH Mānoa application. If you're in the KAE program, you can also do that to get into UH Mānoa. But regardless of the way that you come to Mānoa, you have to do this Makale application if you want to apply for a teacher licensure program. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're getting ready to transfer, that there'll be 2 applications. Okay, so this is where things can get a little tricky, but for Bachelors of Ed, for elementary ed, we have a fall semester only. So keep that in mind. Also, our early childhood and SPED program, we do it every other year because cohorts run 2 full years. This program is small, so they do a full cohort first and then they reset and do another cohort after that. Also, our special education post-bac is fall semester only, as well as our master's in education. We do have some spring semester programs. These are secondary ed programs. So again, if you major in English and then are thinking you may want to go into teaching, you would do the post-bac admission for spring. Same for the Bachelor's of Education, secondary education. But as long as you're meeting with our office, we really try to help students keep these admissions deadlines in mind. Okay, so we do have some specialized criteria. 2.75 GPA pretty much across the board. It goes a little lower for secondary ed for math and science. 55 credits, pretty much junior standing. And then we do have group leadership experience for both elementary and secondary ed. This is just to ensure that students who are applying to these programs have some background in the groups that they want to teach. So for elementary ed, we ask for kindergarten through 6th grade experience. Even if you have just one of those grade levels, as long as you have 40 hours with a group of students, then we'll be that's okay for admissions. And we can talk about this further. Everybody has different types of these experiences. And of course, with the pandemic, that has, diversified some of the experiences a bit as well. So we're doing online, or we're accepting online experiences. And some of our deadlines for this have been pushed back due to the pandemic. Let's see. Yeah, before you start your program, we ask that students are doing their general ed and licensure track prerequisites, that those are complete. The idea is that you're done with your general ed and licensure track, or if you're doing a secondary ed, that you're done with that content major. So again, if it's English, that you'll be done with a majority of your English courses, if not all of them, by the time that you're in the program. And that's because, again, it's cohort model, where towards the end of the program, you're really focused on your ed courses, and they have you set up in the schools already doing your observation and student teaching. All right, again, just wanted to highlight our distance and hybrid programs for our Leeward Coast folks. And one that I wanted to highlight, it's not a distance program, but this one is just for our Leeward folks, because we have a cohort for elementary ed that's a Mānoa degree that still has a cohort, but one cohort is based out in LCC or in Waianae. And so this year, this fall 2021, we are having a leeward cohort, and then our next YNI cohort is fall 2022, and their cohort name is Kamalu o Kaiona. And so these cohorts start only in the fall semesters, and we flip them. So one year it's LCC, next year it's YNI, LCC, YNI, LCC, YNI. And that's, again, just to make sure that we're doing our part at Manoa to reach the teacher shortage on the west side. And for this program, February 1st is priority deadline and March 1st is final deadline. And that's referring back to that Makale application that I mentioned, the College of Ed specific application that you would do online. Okay, we also have a statewide program, and the statewide program is an online hybrid where you would do most of your courses online, but you still do face-to-face meetings 2 to 4 weekends per semester. And so this can be for students who maybe do not want to make the drive out to Manoa, but this is also for our neighbor island students as well. Our early childhood and early childhood SPED program is another distance hybrid program. So again, for folks who may want to not make that drive, but also to make sure we're meeting the needs of our neighbor island students. So again, this is pre-K through 3rd grade licensure. All right, and just wanted to highlight our elementary ed and Hawaiian language immersion program, since this is a new program starting fall 2021. It is another statewide online hybrid where you would be taking most of your courses online, but still having that face-to-face field-based experience in the classroom. And so you do need a certain level of Hawaiian language to begin that cohort licensure track part of the program. And so you'd need to be at the 402 level. So if you have experience with Hawaiian language, a lot of the students who are interested in this program are Hawaiian immersion graduates. And so they kind of are at this level of Olelo. All right, so I just wanted to highlight that leeward. We do have that Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA. For leeward, it's the AS in teaching. So if you follow that pathway, it's going to lead to a very smooth transition to our College of Ed programs. So we also have a website on the bottom where you can take a better look at that MOA, that Memorandum of Agreement. But again, feel free to make an appointment. I feel like that's where we get to know our students best and get to help you with that as much as possible. Plenty ways to fund education for teachers, especially due to the high need. So just wanted to highlight some of those here. And then this is our website. And again, I'll send this PowerPoint to our lovely hosts, and they can get it to all of the participants. And I'll leave it open to Q&A. I hope I was okay on time. We're also on Instagram. That's our main social media platform, but also Facebook and Twitter. So feel free to connect with us via email, social media, or make an appointment. But thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alyssa. That was great information. It was a lot of information, like you said. So I'm sure you'll get a lot of inquiries following up with, unique questions and things like that. We do have one question in the Q&A that we wanted to try and answer live for you guys today. So Lachey was asking for the elementary education and SPED program. She says admissions is only in fall of an even year. So next admission year would be fall 22. So I think it's a clarification.
Yeah, great question. Sorry, what was the, who asked the question?
Lachey.
Lachey, thank you, Lachey. Great question. That's only for our early childhood and early childhood SPED program. And that's because it's a little on the smaller side. That is the one that will license students to teach pre-K through 3rd grade general and pre-K through 3rd grade SPED. A lot of students who are doing that program want to teach preschool in the Hawaii DOE, and that's our only program at UH Mānoa that would license you to teach SPED in the DOE for preschool, and that's actually the only preschool population that the DOE serves as of now. So for students who are really interested in teaching preschool in the DOE, that's the program they tend to gravitate towards. But our general SPED elementary ed program, K through 6 general and K through 6 SPED, has yearly fall admissions. So great question. I hope I was able to clarify that for you.
I think that was great. Thank you. All right. Yep, she says mahalo. All right. So I don't see any other questions in the Q&A. So folks, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in. Yeah. Alyssa, do you want to kind of talk about, you know, job placement and things like that? With pandemic on, I think a lot of folks are coming back to college or thinking about pursuing their degree right now with the intent really to get that job going. So can you talk a little bit about job stuff, and then maybe also for students that are returning to college that may have prior credits, how would you work with them?
Great question. So first I'll talk about the job placement question. And so I've been in College of Ed for almost 5 years now, and I have never had a student not get a job after. So that's been really great for our teacher ed folks, that there's such a great need in the state of Hawaii for teachers. I believe last school year, there were still 700 positions, teaching positions that weren't filled. And so there's a great need. Students are getting placed after graduation. What happens is after you successfully complete the bachelor's degree or teacher licensure program, then you're put on a list for the Hawaii Teachers Standards Board. Again, sorry for all this, like lots of dense info and acronym filled presentation, but Hawaii Teacher Standards Board, they govern the teacher licensure in the state of Hawaii. And so we send them a list of students who have completed our program and who are eligible for teacher licensure, which means that the DOE gets that list. And so then from there, people are able to make connections for a job. A lot of our students are also finding that if they're doing good work and if they're doing well in their student teaching placement, that they're able to find jobs within the schools that they're doing student teaching. So that's a great way to be networking while in college. All right, and then I'm going to transition to the next question about working with students who may be coming back and have transfer credits. So students who are thinking about coming back, we take a GPA average of all of your post-secondary institution credits. We also give benefit of the doubt. So if you retook a class, we'll take the higher grade for our GPA, but we are looking at all of the post-secondary institution credits.
Great, thank you. Okay, so Amy McKee has a question. If you could talk a little bit more about any group leadership opportunities that students could complete virtually.
Yeah, great question. I can send a link when I send a PowerPoint. We have a link of field experience, and for our elementary ed area and our secondary ed, it is a little tricky right now, especially for secondary ed folks, but we do have kind of like a resource list that I'll send out. But what we do recommend for students, if you have a relationship with a past teacher, it's always nice to make connections with them again. So reach out to them and see if they're willing to let you TA in their classroom or lead some exercises. So it's just 40 hours. That can be a lot if you don't have a lot of time for before the application, but in perspective, it's like 1 week at a full-time job, so 40 hours. But a lot of students are doing things like Zoom classroom sessions, Zoom dance instructor, So we're pretty open. The main thing is that it needs to be more than 2 students that you're working with, because it has to be a group. Ideally, as much as a classroom environment as possible, just to kind of give you the flavor for that. But that's what we're looking for. But it is so varied that definitely keep in touch with us on what you're thinking. We can help verify if that would be a good experience to pursue.
Great, thank you for that, Alyssa.
Yeah.
So Kulamanu has a question. How is the once a month weekend cohort meeting happening during this time?
Good question. They are doing it online via Zoom during this time. It is tricky, and we just had to make it fair, especially for our neighbor island folks who aren't really able to travel, because in the past, pre-pandemic times, which seems like forever ago, right? But they would come on the airplane from Kauai or Lanai, whatever island they were coming from. They would come for a weekend to Manoa. College of Ed would subsidize the airfare, and everybody would be together and get to have that bonding experience. But just due to the safety for our instructors and students, we have been doing it via Zoom. But thank you for that question. I hope we can be face-to-face in the near future.
Right. Great. Awesome. And then we have a question in the chat from Teresa. Alyssa, did I hear you correctly? You offer a secondary ed online for various content majors, question mark. Thank you for sharing your detailed PowerPoint.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. We offer the secondary ed online for the post-baccalaureate certificate. We don't currently have online for the Bachelor's of Education program right now. So for students that need that distance one, we do recommend maybe doing that content major first. So again, I'm just going to use English, but let's say you do an English bachelor's degree, and then you want to do an online distance program to be certified to have your teacher's license in Hawaii. Then you could do the online post-baccalaureate certificate. That's the 1.5 year, 18-month program that would license you to teach grades 6 to 12 in that specific content area.
Great, thank you. I think that clarified. All right, and we have another question from Lachey. So in the event that I'm unable to complete my associate's degree in liberal arts, is it possible still to transfer to UH Mānoa and complete my 1 or 2 classes at HANCC? I believe I will be done with all prereq classes for this program. So I think just asking, you know, if you don't have everything done before transferring, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think that's a case-by-case basis. We might have to look at your record a little more carefully, but if you don't do that memorandum of agreement, like the AA and teaching, you can still come over as a transfer student, finish up the requirements needed for Mānoa, and then do apply to the licensure track program. It may just hinder like getting into the program in that smooth way that I was talking about, like going from LCC to UH Mānoa, you know, back to back, where you would be at Manoa for a little bit, finishing up requirements and then applying to the program. So that's what we can do in our advising appointments as well, is figure out what's the best path for you.
Great. Great. And then we have a question from Monica. So I hope that I understand the question right. And so feel free to type in the chat, Monica, if we don't have this understood correctly. But she is currently at Kapiolani Community College and is wondering if she can, let's see. So she's getting her concentration in elementary education, but would also like to be able to get a secondary concentration in human resources. I believe that's what she's asking. So I guess talking about like the pairing up of different areas, if that's possible, and what that would look like.
Yeah, so sorry, just to clarify, elementary ed specialization, but also interested in human resources, secondary education?
I think family resources.
Family resources. Oh, okay.
Like maybe HDFS, maybe? I'm not really sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so we encourage students if they want to do double major or explore different programs to do so. Typically, if students are doing double major, we encourage them to do their first major prior to the elementary ed program, just because so much is involved with the elementary ed program that we encourage students to kind of be complete with all their other requirements, and then you can focus in on that last 2 years in the cohort. So that's typically what we do. Another thing is sometimes students ask if they can get multiple teacher licenses. And so there is things called add a field that Hawaii Teacher Standards Board does, where maybe a student, a teacher has a certain license, but then later they want to add something. So just for example, maybe they're an English teacher that wants to add social studies. So people are able to do that, and that's where you would work more with the Hawaii Teacher Standards Board to learn the ins and outs of that. But we can help you if that's on your mind as well.
Great. I think that is all for questions in the Q&A and chat for now. I think as Alyssa has mentioned throughout the presentation, if you folks have individual questions or that are more intricate with the details, I think a lot of this is case-by-case basis. So I'm sure you can connect with Alyssa right after this presentation, and she can kind of help give you some guidance and advice on what to do and how to get where you're going most efficiently and effectively. Thank you, Alyssa. Do you have any last thoughts or comments you want to share before we switch over to the next one?
No, I think just contact us if you have any questions or concerns. Again, I know College of Ed has a lot of dense information, but we do lead directly to career, and it's a very fulfilling career. I miss being in the classroom sometimes, and but I'm getting a lot of joy from helping our future teachers now. So just thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. Attendees, there'll be an evaluation in the chat. If you could please do a quick evaluation on the presentation that you just saw, we'd appreciate that.